Asante. Thank you very much. You may be seated. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, Anna, my friend, the Chairman of the Council of Governors, our host today, the Governor of the great country of Homa Bay, all governors who are here, all honorable members of Parliament, distinguished guests, now wana Homa Bay, hamjambo, hamjambo, osaure. Asante sana. I usually call my brother there Anna, and he has done a good job of introducing me here to this audience. I came earlier. I did not know that I was scheduled to talk at 5 o'clock. But I said, now that I'm here, because I'm here, I need to be given a chance to greet the people. So we are very happy that the county of Homa Bay is hosting this conference this year. Now, we've been here just a few months ago when we had a very electrifying Madaraka Day 2 months ago. And it looks like Devolution 2025 is not any different. I was very happy and pleased when I arrived here and I was taken to a park, just a small park in the Homa Bay, where this county is trying to remember a very great son of this county, the late Honorable Odinga. I was very, very pleased indeed, because Odinga is actually was the architect of the devolution. I myself was very passionate about devolution, but Mbai had understood it much better than anybody else. So when we went to Bomas of Kenya, because I had hired him as my consultant. So when we went to Bomas of Kenya, and the debate started in earnest, and then I asked the chairman to give Mbai a chance to address the audience. When he spoke that day in Bomas of Kenya, and he spoke for nearly 10 minutes without break. And by the time he finished, the whole hall backed into cheers. And they all cheered Mbai and said that that gentleman should be the chairman of the Devolution Committee. And that is how it became. That Mbai became the chair of the Devolution Committee. And as the chair of the Devolution Committee, he navigated very dangerous corners. Because as you know, I've been mentioning several times that devolution had then, and even today, very powerful enemies. He was able to create proper benchmarks to be met. And because of that, he became a marksperson. And as I've said several times, Mbai would not see the new constitution. In broad daylight, in front of his children, they moved in to his house and shot him and fatally wounded him. So it is fitting that today we are here actually celebrating this day in Homa Bay, not very far away from Mbai's home, right just next door here. And today I really want to make an appeal to the Council of Governors. Because Mbai left a young family, young wife, and children. And if the Council of Governors can see it fit that you get a kind of a fund, a small fund, you can just put in 5,000 shillings a month, that will go a long way to help the family of the little Mumbai. It's an appeal. But then, let's get back to business. And let me begin by declaring a familiar interest. I believe in devolution. I believe in more, not less devolution. I believe in a balance of power between Nairobi and the counties. None should stand in the way of the other. I believe in strong county executives oversighted by equally strong county assemblies. I believe in a Kenya that sees the strength of each of the 47 counties as the strength of Kenya. But let me say, county government are supposed to be oversighted by county assemblies, not the Senate. So therefore, it is unnecessary for Senate to be summoning governors to go to appear before senators in Nairobi. Only the public accounts and the public investment committees should summon not even governors, the chief executives of the county government. It's a waste of time, all the time summoning governors to come to appear before parliamentary committees. Centralism still has strong supporters, but I believe its days are in the past. Centralism comes with some bad habits. It thrives on keeping the whole country waiting for Nairobi to make decisions on very local issues that Nairobi knows little or nothing about. Devolution beats centralism at allowing local people to make decisions on local issues. Decisions affecting only Homa Bay should be taken in Homa Bay or any other country for that matter. Only decisions affecting the whole country should be taken by the national executive in Nairobi. I believe local policymakers bring more insight to local issues, are more likely to be more accountable, transparent, traceable, and named and shamed. But people are now looking for more than proximity. They are looking for performance, productivity, and partnership at every level of leadership. People want counties that are economic powerhouses, not mere administrative units. And you know, we're here because of historical circumstances. You had bigger units, you had regions which had what you call economics of scale. But enemies of devolution undermined that arrangement. Our focus must now be on leveraging devolution to achieve increased productivity and delivery of efficient and quality of services. Devolution for the people, for prosperity. People need more integration and coordination, not just between the county and national government, but also between counties. We want to see Wajir, for instance, having more collaboration with Garissa or Machakos with Kajiado, and complement each other instead of competing for destruction. So I want to share some reflections on how devolution can be revolutionized and how county and national governments can adopt and lead the country into an equitable future. A future in which we all accept that each part of the country is unique in its own way, has its own history, challenges, strengths, and ambitions. Only when all parts of Kenya pull together in one desired direction will we achieve prosperity for all. The counties are not equal or similar. Even this region, for example, you take Homa Bay, next door is Kisii, you see, and then the other door is also Migori. The three counties are not equal or similar. In Homa Bay here, they are like monoethnic. They can afford to talk the Luo Upper. Even the Suba speak the Luo. In Kisii, in Kisii they're also monoethnic. When you go to Migori, they are bilingual. There are Koreans there, and there are the Luos there. So you cannot speak Luo in an assembly in Migori. See, in Kisumu, next door, different from Homa Bay. Though they share the lake, Kisumu has an international airport. Kisumu has a railway line. Homa Bay does not have a railway line, does not have an international airport, and so on and so forth. So counties differ. So, where are we at this stage? Devolution is a process, not an event. It is about finding a balance between national and local aspirations. In this regard, we have made some significant progress. The most important step we have made is to make it the core principle behind devolution widely accepted. The principle of doing locally what is best done locally, and nationally only what is best done at the national level. But devolution must undergo continuous review and reinvention. The world is changing fast. So is Kenya. In 25 years from today, just from today, we will be in a Kenya of over 80 million people. Look at 25 years from today, it's just a turn of the century. And today it is 25 years from then. From 25 years from now, we are going to have 80 million people living in this country. The eyes of our people will be on their counties. Our counties will either be engines of innovation or bottlenecks of frustration. The choice is ours, and we must choose boldly. We need to watch against the transfer of power and resources from Nairobi only for the same to be hoarded at county headquarters. We have to continuously ensure local communities access the devolved power and resources and have the power to decide where funding goes and how the services and projects are run. The formulation of county integrated development plans must therefore be more serious and truly consultative, not mere procedures. Those CIPDs, DPs, must also be implemented to the letter with much more regular references to the people. Needless to say, we have to cut the controlling hand of the national government. We must continuously push the national government to stop micromanaging counties. We must constantly fight off the national government's instinct to hoard power and resources. But let me be clear. References to national government's bad tendencies is not a call for a war between the two levels of government. In all devolved systems, getting money and power from either level is always a struggle. You have to treat the contest as an integral part of the strengthening of devolution and the reason for the two governments to build good faith. In fact, even as that task continues, I want to propose that there be some incentives arrangements between the national government and the counties, through which the national government will reward those counties that deliver the best services in areas like poverty reduction, youth unemployment, and environmental conservation. We need to come up with more transparent and independent performance reporting at the counties that gives the public more access to data that it can use to evaluate the performance of their county against others. That data will enable citizens to know, for instance, where it is easier to start a business, access healthcare, do farming, move goods to markets, etc., enabling our citizens to make informed choices in their socio-economic activities. We need a digital devolution in counties. County services, from business permits to healthcare appointments, must be accessible online, in real time, and in local languages. This should go a long way in fighting the scourge of corruption that is taking very deep roots in counties. Our counties must move from being consumers of transfers to producers of wealth through county-led industrial parks, energy autonomy through solar, wind, and small-scale hydro projects, and smart agriculture hubs, among other areas powered by technology. Our Constitution clearly stipulates that the two levels of government depend on each other. That cooperation should help us to do away with, not enhance, duplication that results in wastage of time, efforts, and money. Even as county and national governments cooperate, there must be more clarity on roles and responsibilities. Some confusion is beginning to creep in, and accountability risks being lost in the process. We must continue demanding that counties be granted full control over all devolved functions. But we must also demand to see what difference the counties are making in increased devolved resources and functions. At the same time, we need to bring more areas into the devolution fold. Our constitution making was characterized by negotiations and give and take. To avoid a war, for example, with NAT, we only devolve early child development aspect of education. Because NAT had threatened us that if we devolve education, they are going to mobilize teachers to oppose the new constitution. And that's why education was not fully devolved. We must now break the cycle of managing our schools from far away in Nairobi. The time has come for Kenya to devolve education up to secondary school. It makes no sense to see a minister of education going to Marsabit, to Garissa, inspecting primary school structures or construction. It's a shame, because that is the work that should be done by the governor of the counties there. The time has come to devolve education. In the interest of efficiency and better service delivery, all money is currently managed by the NGCDF and NGAAF should be surrendered to counties. When CDF was formulated and promulgated, the people of Kenya were seeking an equitable distribution of natural resources which had been denied through an imperial presidency. Most of the work here was basically left to Harambes. If you wanted to build a tuition build block, Harambee, dispensary, Harambee, and so on. Since that time, everything in the system of governance has changed. We removed the patronage system in allocation of natural resources. We adopted devolution. We established a constitutional commission to allocate revenue between the national and county governments. We empowered the parliament on budgetary matters. Everything Kenyans have done to re-establish good governance has made the CDF system obsolete. It is serving no known role in the new constitutional architecture, and it is no longer relevant in the new constitutional dispensation. Indeed, the only thing this system does is to pervert the role of the representative of the people and to deflect their attention from duties placed upon them by the Constitution. The legislatures are elected to represent the people, to legislate, and to oversight the national government. It is not their business to be distributing bursaries or be constructing classrooms and so on. Those are the work of the county government. Well, the MPs are constructing roads, constructing schools and hospitals. The same goes for infrastructure development. There is no reason for Nairobi-based agencies to continue flying over counties and construct roads in our urban centers and within our counties. I strongly believe that time has come for the authority over urban and rural roads to be handed over to counties, while the national government manages international highways and national trunk roads. I was the Minister for Roads, Public Works and Housing. I'm the one who took the bill to Parliament to create Kera, Kura, and Kenha. But that was under a unitary system of government at that time. With a devolved system of government, there's no need for somebody sitting in Nairobi to be in charge of rural roads in Homa Bay or Kiambu or Lambu, for example. So this is an idea whose time has come. It does not make sense that some roads in Kisumu town cannot be managed by the governor of Kisumu. That somebody sitting in Nairobi called Kura who claimed those roads as his roads. The same thing in Mombasa, Eldoret, Nakuru, and so on. I know the better way to power this economy there's no better way to power this economy than to have major road construction works going on across all the 47 counties at the same time. I am well aware that some of these functions are currently not devolved and may require constitutional amendments to be transferred to counties. But through delegation of functions and legislation, we can get this work done and in the process take more power and resources and prosperity to the people. Finally, I want to address these two other issues. One, the governors have mentioned it. that governors serve the counties, and they can serve 1 term, 2 terms. There are quite a number of governors who have served 2 terms. In Parliament, we did an amendment so that any member of Parliament who serves 2 terms is automatically entitled to a pension. Why can we not do the same thing to the governors? A governor who has served 2 terms needs to be entitled automatically to a pension. So this is a recommendation that should come from Homa. And members of Parliament should seize this matter and go and move an amendment in Parliament. Okay? Second thing is issue of corruption. You see, corruption is not confined to the counties, and I'm happy that the President talked about this. I talked about it the other day. Our society will not develop until we manage this animal, this beast called corruption. And it is in all aspects of our lives. First, you talk about the executive. It is rampant in the executive. Not at the county only, first at the national level. In the procurement and in revenue collection, that's where it resides. Revenue collection, these revenue officers, whether it be the customs officers, they be income tax, they be VAT officers, there's a lot of pilferage in that right. There's a lot of leakages. And then procurement officers. Again, here there's an area where there's a lot of pilferage. You're procuring so expensively. You'll be told now you're building affordable housing. But at what cost? At what cost are you building the affordable housing? Yeah? And all that eventually is burden pushed to the taxpayer. So this is an area where we need to face these enemies of our society squarely in procurement and in revenue collection. The other area here is, and this is both at the national and at the county level. Then go over to the legislature. Again, it's domiciled in legislature. A lot of money was being wasted by people who should be working productively, being summoned to appear before parliamentary committees. And you find parliamentary committees sometimes saying, we are cancelling this project. They're only doing that because they've been funded by a contractor who lost the contract. When there's a tender, there must be a winner. And once that the tender has been awarded, the contractors who lost will look for the member of parliament or an MCA. Or the contract has been corruptly awarded. Then immediately they now summon the minister or the PS to come, and you want to investigate this. They shout a lot of, make a lot of noise, but basically they are being paid by the losing contractor. As they've been doing this, you find the contract has been properly awarded, is suspended, is cancelled, and you know the financial year is very short. By the time you awarded the contract, it is September. If somebody goes and suspends it, you will be into the new year. The whole financial year is wasted, money is not spent. So Parliament must also be brought on board properly, because Parliament is also actually impeding implementation of government projects by being corrupted by contractors. And then, come over to judiciary. Judiciary is also not blameless. When some people tell you that rather than wasting my money in hiring a lawyer, I'd rather bribe a judge, and I will get whatever I want. A criminal, somebody has committed a crime, when he's supposed to be arrested, rushes to court. and when they go to court there, gets an order to stop him from being arrested. So the judiciary is a major impediment also. So the corruption resides also in the judiciary. And you come down to the private sector. The private sector is also not blameless. The private sector is where there's competition for contracts, and they're the ones who now go and bribe the executive, they also bribe the legislature and so on. So there's always a giver and a taker in a corrupt deal. So the private sector is also not blameless. The media is also not blameless here. The media is very much deeply involved. If you see the media saying, oh, we are exposing corruption here, they have been paid. But we have done a professional investigation exposing corruption in the legislature or in judiciary, in the executive. They themselves have been paid to do what they're doing. So the media is not blameless in this one here. So we need to deal with this issue squarely by looking at this animal called corruption, the face, and dealing with it. That's the only way that our country will be able to move forward. I thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Prime Minister, we kindly request you to remain up on stage. We have a gift for you from the Council of Governors, which will be presented by the